Demons to me feels like the tribe that has it all.
So demons seem I like to look to demons in the past and this current patch or the previous patch now, I guess. Be able to get keywords on your big demons is pretty nice, and it seems like it's pretty easy to manipulate it with a lot of the things they eat. I made really big Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Urzels that I untaunted. They're like 4K, 5K ish, which is not much for duos, but pretty big for solos. But I was on Galley, so it probably made a big difference on how big I could get them.
And then demons have great access to keywords with Death Deserter and the ability to just like do that into an entire shop. You're getting without doing the actual map on that. You're getting a divine shield most of the time. Like you could full shield before the demons pretty fast, it seems, and you can scale stats pretty fast on the distractor.
And stealing keywords definitely a big change for demons. Like them actually able to have shields and stuff. Feels not very demon-esque in how demons have been played in the past. It feels like they've become like the new Murlocs, where they're just gonna have a board of Divine Shield poison guys, like back in the good old days.
It seems like a lot of the time you're going to be like rolling for a shop with a venomous unit, and then activating your Death Deserter, maybe buying a minion, and then using your methodical madnesses to get poison.
Like I don't think it'd be that uncommon for it to be able to like steal, to get like Divine Shield poison guys and stuff, which in general is pretty bad for the game. But we'll see how it is.
Right now, demons to me feels like the tribe that has it all. Like it seems like Devilish Distractor is going to get the stats up there with most of the other biggest comps. It has lots of ways to get lots of fodders still, and then tons of access to keywords. Like this seems like just the best tribe to be in for endgame at a glance.
Makes sense, because any tribe that can give Divine Shield Venom has to be like a pretty nice tribe, especially if it doesn't suck leading up to those points.
It feels like Murlocs way in the early days, where they had all the keywords and all the stats.
It's like Megastore days.
Like, why are both these things in the same tribe? Like you should be a keyword.
Battlegrounds, yeah, we back on the wave. Two boomers in the lobby, still making plays. From the shop to the tavern, we don't behave. Talk meta, talk life, talk common, rank grades. Battlegrounds, turn it up, press play. Old school feel with the new school sway. Every week, new heat, let it run, don't fade. If you came for the vibes, you in the right place. Yeah, welcome to the pop, pull a chair to the table. APM low, but the read still fatal. Boomer brain, but the line stay stable. Hit them with the level ups, label it a fable. Queue up, we discussing every patch, every tweak. Broken comps, bad beats, every high roll streak. From the goldens in the shop to the throws on a misplay. Clip it for the chat, that's a boomer kind of replay. Late night grind, but the jokes stay timeless. Talk real life, little tilt, little kindness. From the YouTube feed to the Twitch chat sounds. If you know, then you know this is Battlegrounds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Battlegrounds podcast. We have two very special guests with me today. Two former teammates of mine for the last ever Battlegrounds World League, where we were the champions. 42% of the winning team right here, with Kinkade in the top left corner and TheAtheistCleri in the bottom here, Caleb. They are now, after winning the World League with us, they became professional duos players. And I don't think they played a game of solos ever since. Pretty much. And
what, that season in solos? Play 4 games.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the upcoming season, since the preview event was today. Were you guys watching much of the preview event today? Not at all.
I watched about an hour and a half of it, but I have house guests, so I couldn't really focus as much as I'd like on it.
So I was privileged enough to play in the preview event today. There's no duo action, so I can't comment too much about duos. I'm also not a very good duos player, as I probably played about 20 games of duos in my life. But we could definitely comment about all the new cards, how you think it'll impact solos, how you think it'll impact duos, initial impressions of everything, and all that sort of stuff. I'll quickly go over what my initial impressions were from playing the event, if I actually have the notes here somewhere, because I was...
Since I missed all of this, how many games did you get the chance to play? Was it all against like other streamers?
Yeah, mostly other streamers, yeah. I think I probably played like 8 games, or somewhere around 8 to 10 games. I mean, I was dying really fast, so I was just being really greedy trying some new stuff out. But
Mhm.
so here are the few takeaways I took away from it. To activate a minion was a little bit annoying because you couldn't initially figure out how to do it. You kind of just like press the minion and like drag it if it's targets, and you just kind of like press and hold the minion to if it's just like a spell or something that just like that gives you stuff. It is
So
going
if I want to spell a minion that has activate, I have to like click and hold longer or
yeah.
shorter.
So you play it, it doesn't spell, then you just kind of like tap it and hold it for like maybe like half a second, and like there's one that's like a gives you 2 bananas for one, and so you kind of just have to tap it and then let the 2 bananas cover your hand. It's going to be very annoying if you don't want to actually activate it, if you're doing APM stuff and you get like some activate minion in your hand and you just try to quickly sell it, and like you're just like starts target tells you want to target something. So that is very annoying. The dark
I
gift,
guess that they don't want to use right click because of mobile. I don't know.
I don't know.
Seems like
It's
there's
probably
other
just
avenues
it's
in
probably
this
just a
interface.
tap or something, but I don't know. But okay. So the dark gift button is kind of like in the top right where like you would hover over the board to see what minion types are in. And it's
Yeah.
Okay.
a lot of times
Seems
you just
fine.
kind of forget about it because it's not where you intuitively look at the board. So like you just kind of have to remember that it's there. That was also annoying because a few games I just forgot that like dark gifts were in. I just like, oh shit, I didn't press the button at all this game because it's so far away.
The funny thing is, Kelly, for as duos players, that's a more intuitive place to look. So that's less of it. You know, it's like
Okay.
I was watching that and looking at what you meant by that. It's like I look at that all the time. It's right above the portal, you know.
I don't know if it's just me, but Kinkade is like
You're right.
really.
Your audio is cutting in and out pretty bad, Dad.
You might need to move a little closer to your mic or something.
Okay. Huh.
That was quite a bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be a problem when you're trying to drag stuff like to pass to your teammate and you just like pull it over and then hit the dark gift button and then just like bounces back to your hand or something. I have no idea how that's gonna work for duos. Beatboxer seemed insanely strong in solos. I know Beatboxer has always been like really strong in duos, but it seemed insanely strong in duos because there's a lot of stuff that produces satellites and Beatboxer get really big really fast. The new tier 6 beetle guy, which is whenever one of your minions attacks, it buffs your beetles, seem really, really strong if you get it like early. Like it's one of the best things that are to triple into early. All the other tribes seemed very mediocre. I saw a few big dragon builds, but then I saw nothing of any other tribes that were out there. So
Interesting. So of those 8 games, almost all of the good boards were beasts then?
they were beasts. There were a lot of beasts, and there's a way more mechs than anything.
Okay.
Way more mechs. Essentially, one person would get Beatboxer, and or just like building up a lot of like satellites, and like they would just like wipe out all the boards because they have really good tempo as long with the satellites.
Where were all the people coming? Just trinkets?
Yeah, trinkets. Either there's a trinket that gives you a Beatboxer, and like the you pay for like a random tier 7, but like it would just like the thing is the Beatboxer escalates really fast. Like on turn 8 you get the trinket and all of a sudden you just play like you could triple off a satellite because there's an early lesser trinket that produces a satellite for each, gives like +3/+3 for every tavern spell you play that turn. So you could just like have that tripled on the turn you find Beatboxer, and then all of a sudden you have like a 200 like I died to Jeef on turn 9. I had like a 300 minion that I just tripled my satellite onto, and his Beatboxer was at like 500 already. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I died because he got Beatboxer that turn. I was like, yeah, this is fun. So yeah, there's stuff like that. That was my initial impressions. So
cool.
Yeah, this looks like one of the worst jobs of balance. I mean, the bigger the more ambitious the patch, the worse their balance is going to be. I hope this is one where they double back to it very quickly. It looks very fun, but it looks like the variance is going to be overwhelming until they get there. It's going to need more severe balance patching than they've needed for a while. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. My read is also that they're trying to move the power curve around a little bit, to where they're like moving more interesting cards into tiers 3 and 4, and I think that also probably is going to be a challenge. Like, I think they probably made some mistakes in what they put on 3 and 4 as compared to higher tiers in the past.
What do you think the mistakes could be, since we could start talking about the cards, since essentially all the cards are out?
So the Wolf on tier 3, rally, give all of your minions +4/+2, I think is the text
Yes.
on it.
Yeah. That guy is
It
really
just seems
strong.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like, your first copy of that is an enormous in combat team buff, and then every time you get a copy of the minion, either the minion bait generators, you're just +4/+2 your team again,
Yeah.
at very low cost. That seems like it's just going to be by far the best tempo on 3 of this patch.
Yeah. That card was definitely very annoying. Every time I played
I think
against
that's
it.
a case in a very meaningful way. It seems like beasts are going to be the king of low tier, and my intuition right now is the demons are going to be king of the high tier. But we can get a little bit more into like a tribe by tribe review if we're doing that. It seems like what demons are doing is going to, in a longer game where you've got a lot of resources from passing in duos, there's going to outscale everything else.
That's interesting, because like the only game that I had success with today was Demons with Galley, just because it's Galley, and I was producing like really big fodder minions. But I didn't really see anyone really doing much with Demons in general. It seemed very beast mech heavy, but like I also was like dying pretty quick, so maybe there's some people doing interesting stuff that I just didn't get to see.
Duos and solos pretty consistently plays a little bit different, because you get to like funnel a lot of resources very quickly into a board in duos, and you don't need to like worry about the in-between states in quite the same way.
Yeah.
So like whatever functions, whatever high rolls best in solos is usually what ends up being the go-to comp in duos.
And if it's, and at times things that are just beyond what the high rolls and solos are, because if it's like a battle cry or being replayed, or like beatbox or something that you get that you abuse by playing it repeatedly, the ability to portal things back and forth in duos creates just absurd stuff.
Yeah, beatboxer's been one of the best things in duos for a long time.
Yeah. I definitely was aware of that, but like it was just like the ability for it to get really big really fast is what was a little troublesome in solos, because it's obviously much harder to deal with when it's like getting
If it's good in solos, it's probably fairly ridiculous in duos, though the strategy in duos looks very different. Like, it sounds like what you're talking about is like you have a card that's just sort of like magnetizing onto all of your mechs in general, and then that's feeding into the beatboxer. Usually what you do with beatboxer and duos is you have like a big pile of magnetic minions you just keep adding to, and then you portal it, move it onto a fresh magnetic, and get all of your buffs again.
Yeah, it's
and
probably
maybe the tools aren't there for that specifically.
Yeah, so I mean, you could probably do stacking on for the beatboxer as along with, you know, just like buffing all your other mechs at the same time, because it's very easy to produce magnetics in way it is now, because they introduced 2 new minions for buffing magnetics, or just for buffing mechs in general this patch. Both of which are very easy to get magnetics. The tier 5 mech minion called Glambot, whenever you cast a spell on a mech, magnetize a 6/6 satellite to it. And the tier 4 Spark Snapper, when you play a mech, magnetize a 6/6 satellite to it and improve this. Like, they ramp up pretty fast. I'm assuming duos is going to be like way faster on how fast like you could just like generate spells or generate additional magnetics to ramp these things up.
Yep. I'm excited about pirates. I don't got.
They seem to have moved away from real quickly. They seem to have moved away from using Tavern Spell and gone with just spell in general. Did that feel noticeable in the gameplay already, in terms of, or is that just two corner case? You know, that like Naga feels a little more useful to have on your board now with these things that are triggered by spells, where in the past they'd almost always say Tavern Spell.
Yeah, so I found that mechs, like in combination with Nagas, or just like quill boards and stuff, things that generate, you know, cheap spells to get my magnetics up really fast when I had a Snapper and Glambot on board, it was really worthwhile, because then I could just like produce like a ton of stats for each spell and more magnetics. And then if I got to the whatever the tier 6 guy that came back, the drone utility drone, it would just like produce a lot of stats quickly. But these are just solo games. That scaling probably not nearly enough for duos, but definitely a lot enough to like quickly win lobbies with mechs. They're all on like shields and stuff. A thing I also found that was not necessarily that great about the new patch, the variance on the gifts was enormous.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning, primarily with the balance. I think that's going to feel like a shit show for the until like if it. I really hope there's a dramatic reworking of that that they do in less than 2 weeks. Some of the ones that like it's just wild how arbitrarily they assigned how some very powerful ones that seemed available early, some that just shouldn't exist, and then some that you can get late that are just like why is that at a high tier of this? And
I think the ability to get like I think it was on turn 4 you could get a potential tier 3 minion with the gift. I think if you activate it on 4, I think it's the first turn you could get. It gives you like a 1, 2, or 3, I believe. Like that tends to provide like a very big tempo boost. I saw a lot of people activating it the first gift early. Like it's probably not relevant. Yeah, probably not relevant to your duo games, but like I was seeing like like the 4-2 guy with like Divine Shield Wind Fury on turn 3. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm just taking 10 damage on turn 4, just because like it's just like out of the blue, all this extra damage that you don't really expect.
Yes, that's I mean that's going to be a frustrating part of them. Period. Like that. Although that'll be a fun part of duos because one cool thing on duos is when you're playing, you only have essentially 3 opponents. So the in solos, trying to power spike against a particular opponent is not much of a thing because like you just have this big field you have to beat. But if you're in a game of duos, especially if you've got one very, very tough opponent that like one very high rated, we're often in a lobby with like one other very high rated team. I think there'll be some nasty intentional power spiking into each other with that button. That's kind of fun. Like
it seems like a lot of the best Dark Gift stuff is actually scaling as opposed to tempo. Like looking at that pool, a lot of them are like reborn with full enchantments that you're actually going to need to like invest in a fair amount. I'm curious to what extent it's going to feel like getting your Dark Gift minion is a massive power spike versus like more direction.
It felt like the early ones were more tempo oriented, but the later ones were more like key pieces, like the reborn with full stats and stuff. Like the earlier ones were like Divine Shield, Wind Fury, and stuff, and stuff like that.
Duos is also Duos is also going to smooth some of this effect out because we have 6 of them instead of 3 between us, so we can like decide to use one early as using one of them early is a much smaller relative cost. You still have like 5 that you can save to the end game if you're so inclined.
Yeah, like a few of them seemed like they were like way too good. Like the one that essentially just makes the minion golden and doesn't count as a triple. Just like sometimes just hit like a minion that's the nuts. Like I hit the 2/4 Naga guy that casts get a minion of your tribe creature. I got that on like turn 6 or something, and then just like produce so much economy for you. It's just like that guy golden early was just like so good, and just like some of them just seemed like way too good early on. But like I'm sure this will all get balanced theoretically. Like
I'm not 100% sure that will get balanced, but we'll see.
I mean, they may just make it so it comes like out on a later turn, or they move that one to like a slightly later turn for it to be possible. But yeah, I mean, I was pressing the level button pretty quickly so I could get and playing the gifts a little later. So maybe I'll just my greed allow me to get like what seemed like more of the broken broken ones later in the game when I felt like, wow, these all seem so ridiculous. And every time I pressed it early, I was like, wow, these suck. But it's probably just variance because of the things. Do you want to start talking about like each individual tribe on how you think it'll do, or what you think of the changes and stuff so far? So let's just go on the order that this HSBG.cards has. The first one they have listed is elementals. I think I only played one game with elementals with the new cards, and I did not play elementals at all. I saw no one playing elementals, so it's a little difficult for me to say what you think of them.
The cards that modify elemental effect are both unchanged, right? The battle card and the death rattle.
Yes, except there's a couple more that.
There's a new one. There's the rally on 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So like, it seems like ballers are sort of the exciting new thing for elementals. Elemental shop growth doesn't seem to be in a whole lot better of a state. I'm sort of suspicious of this Unbound Tempest card as being not terribly powerful. Airballer's a little bit harder for me to gauge offhand. Like, assuming that the way that this works is all of your future ballers give +2/+2, you don't really need very many of them to make all of your ballers pretty stat relevant.
Yeah.
I can see this being like a decent way to stabilize quickly on 5. If you can get like 2 airballers and then 2 more ballers, you get like a pretty good injection of stats. And with the right triggers, which I'd have to look at, maybe this scales into an endgame.
And the spell is still there, and with back-to-back gone, that actually becomes one of the more interesting spells to print, too.
Is Cataclysmic Harbinger still in?
Harbinger is still in, yes.
Harbinger is
Okay.
in, but back-to-back is gone. So
yeah. Okay, Cataclysmic Harbinger ballers is probably a very real comp then.
Does it not seem like too slow in general? Seeing as how, from my opinion, I felt the meta was pretty fast. But like
we're duos players.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
We have we play back-to-back most games, which doesn't happen in solos.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it does. I thought back-to-back was back-to-back dominant this season in solos, Terry?
It was still quite strong in solos. It probably wasn't like every game, but like it was still quite relevant.
Yeah.
Like people hit the pieces early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, when we start a duos game, very often one of our conversation looking at heroes is, so which of us is playing back-to-back?
That's not a very
And,
good
like,
meta if that's the conversation when you're looking at the hero select screen.
It's not every time, but it's aspirational, right? Like,
Yeah.
if everything comes together, we have a back-to-back side because it is always the biggest stats. And I'm excited.
The conversation is kind of like, so if we spike an early Drakari, who's getting like it more and more became our Drakari side rather than the back-to-back side, because it's like Drakari was doing enough very cool things this season that it's like, in the end, if you have a Drakari, what you really want is Harbinger back-to-back. But there were like 5 other really interesting things you could do with it, depending on what tribes we're in. So like knowing where we would want. Knowing where we would want to put that would affect some of the early decisions. Speaking of duo specific, Caleb, you saw Moose is gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the sadder changes to the patch, I think.
I
understand why.
Wasn't Moose super prevalent on like everyone's endgame board in duos?
Yeah. Well, that was crazy toxic.
Yes, but it was a very interesting strategic piece. Like,
yeah.
What you did with Moose varied a lot from game to game, I think.
Yeah.
So pretty much you think elementals are just going to be ballers in all for the endgame comps and not really shop buffs? Like shop buffs just way too slow.
I mean, no mean with Unbound Tempest might be decent. I think we're going to see Cataclysmic Harbinger ballers being a pretty big force.
Yeah.
But
that's a bold call. A big force. Okay.
I mean,
that seems like one of the bigger, it seems like high-end stats in general have gone down a little bit. Looking at this patch, I think that the biggest comps of this are going to be quite a bit smaller than the biggest comps from last season. I think that ballers are going to be able to hang if you can pieces together. Spell scaling's pretty gutted, besides back-to-back not existing. And then, like, I think demons are going to manage some pretty solid, like, 500 quickly sort of boards, and I don't see a whole lot of other tribes being able to do that well. I believe, Terry, that mechs are going to be able to, but I haven't seen it yet.
I think Undead's kind of interesting as a tempo tribe.
Cool. I haven't looked a whole lot at Undead. I'd be curious your take on that one.
All right, well,
should we move on from this?
Yeah, let's head to the next tribe here, which would be Nagas. Nagas kind of changed on how it's going to have its end game scaling, where there's a new minion, Torrential Ruiner. Whenever you cast a spell on a Naga, give your minions +3/+3. That's like probably going to be like the main scaling for solos, I'd wager. There's a tier 3 that activates for a random spell, a new tier 1 minion that sucks, and they pulled out a bunch of the other scaling stuff that they had for like the spell buffs and all that stuff. No, not the spell buff, but like the in combat spells is significantly removed.
Yeah, in combat spell seems to be pretty much gone.
Yeah.
I think Torrential Ruiner seems like it's this exact sort of card that's not going to scale well into duos. Like, there's no way to get a whole lot better than linear.
Yeah.
The tier 5 that death rattles to buff all of your Naga for every 4 cards played, like, that one historically has been okay for tempo. I expect that we are going to end up playing more of that than we do Torrential Ruiner. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, you probably just want tempo until you can set up scam on one board and then have real stats on like the other board. I assume is something happens a lot.
There's a tier 6 all tribe that when you target it, casts the
jug.
Forget the name. The +3/+3 minion of each different type.
Yeah.
That stacks with Torrential Ruiner. Based on my reading of it. Those two together is probably like a respectable like all tribe tempo board.
Yeah, I can see that too. That's definitely something. But Nagas don't seem interesting this patch. Like, they don't seem to have the end game that a lot of the dominant tribes have, and it just seems like you need to kill people fast.
Personality of the tribe at this point, like Naga's tribal theme is being underpowered.
The week they released Naga, they were like ludicrously overpowered, and then ever since then, it's been like, there's a 5th tribe in.
I mean, I didn't find Naga to be like that underpowered in solos this season, but I mean, it's probably a very different game in the solos in that. Just the casting spells to give health and attack on all your minions you can scale pretty quickly in solos to kill people, but it doesn't have like the end game that it would be necessary for duos at all.
We have mostly played Naga as this is what happens when our back-to-back comp doesn't come together, but we did find spell scaling. Spell scaling seems good enough.
Occasionally a deep blue Belinda thing.
True.
Like if it really got pushed on you. Now the targeted Ellie's getting stats from the shop could, although without deep blue, there isn't a replacement for deep blue. There's not a spellcraft that can get really big, is there?
No, nothing that I saw.
Okay.
There's one that is per 4 spells played that might be okay, but it's not going to be like a deep blue that you've been working on for a while level.
It's the one that used to be there, the Thaumaturgist on tier 2. It wasn't like anything special though.
My computer's dying. I'm gonna switch to mobile.
Okay.
Back.
Yeah, so Naga seems very unimpressive. I was not super impressed. Like, some of the stuff definitely provides some good tempo, like the tier 3 KG Conjure, activate 1, cast a random tavern spell, target this if possible. I mean, tier 3 6/4 with a pretty good ability. I mean, it's a pretty decent tempo minion, but like,
but it's a minion. It's not an archetype or anything that needs to be tribal. Like, it's Naga always has some good. It's like it had spell scaling, it had a divine shield. What it doesn't reward is being committed to it.
Yeah.
Like, that's where they've really shorted Naga for a while, and I think are continuing to on this patch. It's like it's not that there's no Naga minions that I would use.
Yeah, I think like last patch, it was a lot better to be committed to it. But the problem was that they just had like so many tier 6s, and they're all spread out through what comps they wanted to be. That made it a little difficult to find the right pieces, even if you're like got to 6 early. Because there's like I think there were 6 Naga tier 6s. I think in the last patch, something like that. It was quite ridiculous how many tier 6s. So like being like in Nagas, there's like 3 builds you could be in Nagas, going into onto 6, and just like it doesn't needs to be a little more focused as opposed to being kind of all over the place. Welcome back, Caleb.
Yep. Is my audio coming through?
Yeah, it's definitely a little louder now than before, but it's fine. All right, so next tribe, undead. Uh, Definitely got a little bit changed. I mean, I think it's still just gonna be a lot of glass cannony stuff, but they definitely got a few more interesting tools. Tier 4, undead dead bell ringer. Activate 1, give a different friendly minion undead reborn, then destroy it to gain 4/4. I mean, probably a solid template minion, gets you to activate some of your stuff or get some early triples off your tier 3 guy.
Yeah.
There's
So what are we looking to proc with that Bellringer? I assume we still have Mummifier in to give reborns around?
yeah, and then the tier 3 guy that summons 3 guys to get you like a triple probably works pretty well with that too.
Yeah. Great.
Right, so like it's pretty good for triples. New tier 5 barrier banshee, after a friendly minion is reborn, gains divine shield of +7/+7. I mean, there's ways to activate it.
You can taunt it and lead a handless potentially, and then that's
No, I mean you could just kill it during your main phase, give it permanent shield, and then just reapply shield after, right, in combat.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm saying you can get the permanent shield fairly easily with the Bellringer, and then
Yeah.
if you taunt it and lead a Handless Forsaken, it should reshield twice on the first 2 attacks.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if you're gonna be able to do like Meckerel type things with it, with like mummifiers and all that sort of stuff, and just have like
Yeah.
a big taunted guy in there. I mean, that probably doesn't matter, not relevant for duos at all, but probably for solos, it could end up being pretty annoying.
I mean, treating it like a like Deflecto, where you're just sort of like trying to get a couple of them each with reborn, pile a whole bunch of stats onto all of them, and they're all sort of like resetting each other as a payoff for you have a way to get stats onto arbitrary minions, is like possibly something we're going to see. Like, it's probably better than Deflecto for this, because undead tokens are a little bit easier to generate than mechs and a little bit easier to get stat relevant.
Also, that's a new minion coming in, tier 6, Snazzy Phantom. After a friendly minion is reborn, your stack equals to its attack to your rightmost undead. I mean, this is also along the theme of mech-rolling.
That seems pretty unplayable.
Huh? No, well, if you like, if you have like a big taunted banshee, it just gains more stats during combat and just gets really big, right? Well, I think
so. Am I reading this one right, Terry? When it says stats equal to its attack, like if a minion has a 100 attack, does it give 100 or 100 0?
I think it's 100 because I
saw what I heard people talking about. I didn't see it in action.
I saw a minion die, and then all of a sudden his rightmost minion got enormous. I was like, "What the fuck happened there?" And I was like, now that I'm reading the things, I'm like, "Okay, this is what happened." But yeah, I think it gives it 100. So like, it could get your guy like your banshee, if you have like using it as a deflect as Meckerel, and get really big.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it back. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that compared to the other tier 6s we were looking at in their payoffs, that one sounds really toxic to me. Like there's gonna be gross things that happen off of that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how consistently you can set it up. It might need to be that you already have to have the right things going on, but I think it will be consistent too. Just undead usually has a really large toolbox of ways of doing their like just throwing a bunch of slop and assuming the synergies are there is remarkably effective with undead, in my opinion. Like, and I think it will. I think it will be easy to be rewarded for just piling them up. But that's could easily be wrong on that. But
Yeah, I mean, undead didn't really lose too much. Let me check to see what they lost, because I mostly saw it. What did undead lose? They actually lose that much? That was actually interesting going into this.
I didn't catch it either.
The only thing that was actually relevant, I think, was for at least for solos, was Crasher. They lost Crasher and Kel'Thuzad and the Eternal Tycoon, the one that summons the Eternal Knights for Revenge 5, and Wintergrass Spool, which none of that's super interesting.
Crasher was just a different comp though too.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the whole, get a bunch of reborn, build up a lot of undead power, and just things will work out. Like that seems to be what they're rewarding, and moving the reborn magnetic all the way down to tier 3 to make it even easier to get all those things.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Caleb. What you said?
I said Skeletal Strafer is definitely a real loss for undead, though.
Is that that card? Was that the one that scaled your board for the Avenge 1-1?
Yeah.
I don't think that actually saw that much play in solos, so it must be a duo thing.
Interesting.
Like it would be used for tempo for a couple of turns noticeably, and then like it would just get scrapped because everyone's doing. Your minions would like get too big and not die for a couple of turns, and then you just fall behind for scaling. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was rarely an end game, but sort of like high tier tempo matters more in duos, where like a tier 5 that can get you a couple hundred in stats to stabilize is a lot more useful.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we kind of like undead, and the first 2 tries were not things special. Let's move on to mechs. Newest mechs that were introduced: tier 3 rescue bot, taunt, death rattle, get a repair job. Repair job just gives a minion +4/+8. I mean, it's pretty decent tempo minion. Tier 4 drone duplicator, activate 1. The next magnetization to this minion this turn is double, which is pretty decent, I think. Spark Snapper, when you play a mech, magnetize a 3/3 satellite to it and improve this.
The mech that magnetizes to get you an extra buck each turn, it's still in, right?
So, sorry, repeat that again?
The magnetic that gives you an extra gold each turn, that's still in, right?
Yeah, Noitron is still in, yes. And then Glambot, which is when you cast a spell on the mech, has a 6/6 satellite to it, are the new ones. They definitely moved away from how it was last season about death rattles and stuff, all into satellites this season. They brought back utility drone. They took out some cards. I don't know. What did they take out? I don't think they took out Moonstone Juggernaut and Jouster and Inventor and Rover. So they took out quite a bit of stuff. So they just kind of converted how it was. I think Jouster and Juggernaut would have been too good in this meta because it's all about satellites. It'd be too easy to get triples. And Inventor, I think this is just what they wanted to move away from. We've already talked about how I personally think mechs are going to be broken. Do you guys have any other insights on how you think mechs will be besides that?
Not really. I mean, it's like the things I was saying about undead, but a stronger version of it. We're just like
I'm not 100% sold on either tribe, honestly. These mechs feel a little bit like something that's going to be very strong in solos and scale poorly into duos. But it's a little hard to gauge right now. Like there's a lot of things that reward targeting with spells, and Glambot seems like one of the better ones. I don't know.
Caleb, do you think it'll be worth creating a magnetic pile and doing that on a drone duplicator, like flipping it to get it picked up and then putting it back down with an activated drone duplicator, or especially a golden one? Or is that too convoluted for people to pay off?
Possibly good enough, especially once you have like Glambot and a whole bunch of like targeted spells. Like if you can get your Golden Reborn Rescue bot and your Glam bot, now you're like looking at an easy 100 in stats you generate in a turn just off of those. You do that very quickly on a naked magnetic pile, portal it through, and then activate a Dorm Duplicator and triple those stats. Like, if you're doing it off of Glam bot, it seems like that there's got a fair amount of
tripling the money on that stack too. If it has a couple, couple money guys on it.
Yeah.
All right. Murlocs. Murlocs got changed to more hand buff, and I don't really like it as much. It didn't feel as good. Trying to do hand buff. It's kind of stuck in between because it still has all the Murlocs that give like plus health or plus attack guys, as well as the hand buff stuff, and it felt a little more convoluted. I guess we would quickly go over what Murlocs were added. There's a Murloc tier 3, 2/5, activate 2, get a random Murloc. That seems pretty good. A tier 4, activate 1, trigger friendly minions battle cry is pretty good. A tier 4, Twilight Tidehunter. Whenever you cast a spell on this, give the less movement in your hand +6/6. Probably very mediocre. And then the tier 5, when you cast a spell on a Murloc, give Murlocs in your hand and board +3/3. It's going to. So, like, the endgame stuff kind of became about guys in your hand, but they didn't bring back Baskill, which would have been nice, as opposed to the two crappy ones that they have now. But Baskill will bring.
They lowered the tier on the guy that does hand summon. I'm blanking on his name. The like one space guy, Dharma Forger.
Oh yeah, they moved they moved that to tier 3. I mean, it helps, but like, I didn't really like the thing. Sorry, what was that?
You think Diremuck Forager is crappy?
I mean, it's not as good as Baskill was.
Well, sure.
but I mean, like, I didn't like the fact that it would summon it like on the far right as opposed to summoning it after where the Forager was. This was my main problem with it, especially when you got like the trinket for Morgul and stuff. It made it a lot more difficult to kind of position it through, but I mean, it was still fine. It just wasn't as good as previous iterations.
Yeah. So, like, as I recall, there was a period where Baskill only summoned Murlocs and a period where Baskill summoned non-Murlocs.
Yeah.
And, like, the period where Baskill summoned non-Murlocs was a little bit silly because it was just, like, such an arbitrary number of board slots that you could put Leroy's and whatever else you wanted in.
Yeah.
I think current iteration of Forager seems a fair amount better than the version of Baskill that only summons Murlocs.
Is it because you don't have to worry about like the board space because it always summons it? Or...
Yeah, it never gets stifled. Like you don't run into situations where your golden Baskill dies too early.
I mean, that's true, but like I think to be able to position and like be able to like say position additional poisons in your hand and stuff so they can like trigger on their rallies and all that would have made Baskill a lot better. But that's like, you know, not a massive difference. I think that was the difference on the Baskill Forager thing, is that you can position the rallies to happen for your poisons and stuff to get you like the poison for your scan builds.
I like the look of Murlocs from what I've seen of this patch for a lot of the same reasons that I like Murlocs in the current one. Like, they have reasonable access to economy. They play very well off of a brand, and their like progression of power is very smooth. Like, you have good in between states where you're getting meaningful stats out of your Murlocs. Like, you still have Winterfinner, you still have Scourfin in. Now we have Forager down to 3, which is really nice. Like, your ability to consistently summon your Murlocs is good. Your ways of growing them in hand are fairly good. I'm gonna miss Tad. Like, that was a really nice unit to have because the Murloc pool was pretty consistent, and like just flip a Tad and get something relevant out of it was a big boon for Murloc. But I think the new guy is going to like fill that role reasonably in a different way, where you do have to keep them around. But the Murloc pool is being pretty consistent helps him a lot. Like, the worst Murloc is still an Odin card.
Yeah, sorry. What did you say, Kinkade? couldn't hear you when
I think-
Caleb was talking.
I think the new guy is going to be even better than Dad. I mean, it's a 3. It's a different. It's not a clean comparison, but I think that new guy, when you're talking about just piling on the Murlocs to grow your hand guy, is going to feel really good.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think of like the newer Murlocs? Like, so you like the Mastermind, you like Keeper. I mean, they'll both obviously be good cards. But do you think like the Tier 5 guy and the other Tidehunter guy are going to be of any value? Or
I mean,
they just kind of
they
there?
play very well together, right? Because the tier 5 is anytime you cast on a Murloc. The
Yeah.
Twilight Tidehunter, the tier 4 one, you need to cast on him. But they play very well together, right? Like you get
Yeah.
one copy of each. Now you're giving 9/9 to your hand Murloc and 3/3 to your board per spell. That seems like a pretty good reward for a 4 and a 5.
But you also have to invest in spells then, which you weren't necessarily doing previously. You were just cycling
Seems like
economy.
most of the good cards involve some level of investment in quantity of spells.
But like,
Yeah, but mostly the spells were for like economy, not necessarily for like targeting your minions stuff. At least that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
want to be a brand comp anyway, so you take a brand and you just flip something that gives the 2 taunt spells or 2 blood gems,
Yeah.
and now you're getting 4, 6 of them. I mean, like, again, this is that change away from tavern spells. I think Murlocs is a brand comp, and getting extra copies of garbage spells to do that with will be. I don't know how the animations will be for it, but if it's not animation stifled, I think that will be extremely effective scaling.
Maybe
I agree. This tier 4 and 5 look like some of the better tempo that we have right now.
Maybe I'm just underselling it. Maybe I just didn't get didn't feel the right situation. It just felt like investing in them early when it was harder to find things that you actually want to keep in hand for a while felt not worthwhile, and maybe
We
it just
still
wasn't
have the
good
tier 1 stuff, right?
Yeah, the crappy tier 1, the tier 1 guy that just comes out whenever you have a spot or whatever. Yeah, that guy's still around.
Like that's a really good unit to do that with, because you also get to summon him multiple times. He summons himself and then Forager gets him out. You're double dipping on all the hands.
Yeah, so he's definitely good with that. But I don't know. It just if you didn't have
I'm not
invested
sure
early.
I'm not sure that it's better than Beasts, but I'm excited to play these.
Let's talk about the next tribe, dragons. Let's talk about new minions that got added. Tier 3, activate 2, get a random Chroma Drake. Tier 3, 3/5. Tier 4, rally 2/9, get a random Chroma Drake. Seemed really good when I played it. Tier 4, 4/7, activate 1, trigger friendly minions rally. I mean, this was just okay. Tier 4, start a combat, 3/5, cast a shiny ring. This replaces the tier 6 guy, so it can't, not nearly as abusable as the last guy was. Just okay. And tier 6, Divine Shield, rally, cast Dragon Might Breath. What Dragon Might Breath is a tavern spell. Tier 4 tavern spell, give your minions +1/+1, repeat for your dragons, repeat for your minions with Divine Shield.
Yep.
All seem pretty reasonable. They took out all the Chroma Drakes from just the regular pool. They took out what else did they take out?
Yeah, besides the new card, there's quite a few returning cards that I think are pretty relevant for dragons, like the Battlegrounds, give your team +1/+1, start a combat, do it again.
Yeah.
Like that, I think is going to be pretty key to dragons.
And Warpwing.
Yeah, Warpwing.
Oh yeah,
Warpwing. They removed Charmwing and brought Warpwing back, which I'll definitely kill with a Warpwing a couple times today. Dragons seems like another tribe that was actually reasonable. Like they got pretty large. Like I got to see the K symbol the first time on turn 10 when Seville killed me with them. But like
yeah, like I think Warpwing is just always a unit to watch out for. Like that's just a really strong ability.
Yeah. Warpwing is always going to be really, really good, regardless of how the format is. Do you like dragons overall? What do you think of the changes to dragons?
Good. You start this one.
The blue whelp is really early. Blue whelps are. I know spell scaling on the whole is weaker, but spiking a wildly early blue whelp will be abusive spell toughness, and was in the past.
Particular with some of the dark gifts, I think if you happen to hit the blue whelp with the right dark gift, you're going to pop off a little bit.
Yep. I think they do. They seem to do a perfectly. I think they are above average at cranking out their stats, and they have decent utility, and will be a solid tribe, and that Warpwing is going to be an absolute menace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with all that. It seems like they're going to lack some tools going into the mid game. Like, I don't see how you get over the hump of like 200, 300-ish stats with this tribe.
I think it's just mainly with the tier 6 dragon, the one that busts her spells. Or if you just have like Brandon produce a bunch of chroma wing stuff with the trinkets and stuff. But yeah.
So you think it is mostly a combat spell scaling situation?
Yeah, I think so. Or yeah,
Okay.
combat spell or spell scaling. I mean, that's what it seemed like to me, because like when Seville killed me, he was pretty big on turn 10. I think it was turn 10 or 11. Like, and Solo's 1k
I'll be
stats on
curious
turn
to
10.
see. This definitely doesn't seem like it would hang with the big stats of the current patch. Maybe this is enough endgame for the new one, but I'm a little suspicious of this in endgame still.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference is that like having those stats on a Warpwing makes a difference between then having a stat on just random minion. That it ends up being
absolutely.
a
I
big
would be looking
difference.
for lots of work for my Warpwing.
Yeah, like, and the fact you can still give Warpwing like Divine Shield and Wind Fury and all that sort of stuff, and, still be gross because they reintroduced also like the tier 2 dragon that gives your leftmost minion Wind Fury as well. So Divine Shield, Divine Shield Warpwing is coming back. Divine Shield Wind Fury Warpwings are coming back. Back in style, baby.
Yep.
Back in style. So Dragon's probably pretty solid. So I know Caleb said he was excited about Demons. So we'll quickly go over what new cards are added for Demons. Tier 3, Death Rattle out of fodder your next 3 refreshes. Tier 5, give all minions to your tavern +8/+8. And either Taunt, Divine Shield, or Wind Fury, which is kind of interesting. Death Rattle, Tier 5, 6/3. Get 2 copies of Methodical Madness. What Methodical Madness is: Tier 4 spell. Choose a friendly demon, consumes 2 random tavern minions to gain their stats and bonus keywords. Goes well with the last card.
What tier is that on for just buying it?
Tier
Methodical
4.
Madness?
Tier 4. There's a Tier 5 after your hero takes, or Tier 6 after your hero takes 4 damage. Get a random tavern spell that gives stats. That seems pretty bad. And then there's another card here. When you cast a spell on this minion, Tier 4, 3/6, give minions the tavern +2/+2 this game. So
yeah,
demons seem. I kind of like to look at demons in the past and this current patch or the previous patch now, I guess. I mean, be able to get keywords on your big demons is pretty nice, and it seems like it's pretty easy to manipulate it with a lot of the things they eat. But yeah, I mean, I've made really big Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Urzels that I untaunted. They're like 4k, 5k ish, which is not much for duos, but pretty big for solos. But I was on Galley, so probably made a big difference on how big I could get them. But
yeah, I mean, Devilish Distractor seems really strong. Like every time you cast a spell on this, give minions in the tavern 2/2 permanently on tier 4. Your first 10/10 is going to come really fast.
Yeah.
And then demons have great access to keywords with Death Deserter and the ability to just like do that into an entire shop. Play 2 Methodical Madnesses. You're getting without doing the actual math on that, you're getting a Divine Shield most of the time.
Yeah.
And you just run that every turn.
Yeah.
Like you could full shield before the demons pretty fast, it seems. And you can scale stats pretty fast on the Distractor.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Yeah. Like Death Deserter seemed really good when I played it, and just to be able to give keywords, and stealing keywords definitely a big change for demons. Like them actually be able to have shields and stuff. Feels not very demon-esque in how demons have been played in the past. It feels like they've become like the new Murlocs, where they're just gonna have a board of Divine Shield poison guys, like back in the good old days. But yeah, it definitely feels very strange that that's how demons went. But I mean, this
I
tribe
don't know
seems
how
good.
much randomness there is around for the Methodical Madness. Like, it seems like a lot of the time you're going to be like rolling for a shop with a Venomous unit, and then activating your Deft Deserter,
Yeah.
maybe buying a minion outfit, and then using your your Methodical Madnesses to get poison.
Yeah.
So you can probably get fairly consistently doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you can also just like wait a turn to like buy up some of the cards and then make sure you get the poison on your guy. Like if
Yeah.
I guess probably happens less in duels, but like back in the good old days, we sometimes would need to do that to to do that to get our minions to get this the right stats we needed on our guys and stuff. So like I don't think that'd be that uncommon for it to be able to like steal like to get like divine shield poison guys and stuff, which
Yeah.
in general is pretty bad for the game, but we'll see how it is afterwards.
Yeah, right now Demons to me feels like the tribe that has it all. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like Devilish Distractor is going to get the stats up there with most of the other biggest comps. That has lots of ways to get lots of fodders still, and then tons of access to keywords. Like, this seems like just the best tribe to be in for endgame at a glance.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense because any tribe that can give divine shield venom has to be like a pretty nice tribe, especially if it doesn't suck leading up to those points.
It feels like Murloc's way in the early days where they had like they had all the keywords and all the stats. And
Yeah, it's like Megastore days.
Yeah, like why are both these things in the same tribe? Like you should be a keyword tribe or a stat tribe, and you guys somehow get both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also back in the days when we had those little tip text of some tribes are good in the early game, some tribes are good in the late game.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And Murlocs was their example of good in the early game.
Yeah.
The good old days. All right, Quillboar kind of got overhauled. They got switched back to well, they have two builds. They have Shop Buff build, which I think sucks, and then they got the Choose One. Bunch of new minions added. There's actually a whole crap load of them. I'll mention the relevant ones. There's a tier 4 minion rally. Get around, choose one card. That's a 3/6. The tier 6 veteran brigand. Choose one. This plays 3 blood gems on all your minions or cast blood barrage 3 times, so it works for both. And the tier 4, sorry, choose one. Get a random Quillboar, increase your maximum gold by 1. I think the other ones aren't super relevant. I mean, they're good minions. Like, I guess I just list them all. Sky Infiltrator, choose one, get 2 3 refreshes, or get 3 blood gems. It's pretty nice. And Vigilant Bristlemane, when you cast a spell on this, it plays a blood gem on adjacent minions. And Jailbird Juggernaut, rally summon golem with stats equal to this minion's blood gems to attack the first target.
I think the Infiltrator is going to be very important to the non-board play. Like that's a case of one card that gives you 3 spells that you don't have to have. You don't have to brand or anything else for. You just $2, pay 3, sell it, get one of them back, and you just got 3 spells to cast. Like,
yeah, this is exactly what I was going to say, which is I think boards are going to be a whole lot like beasts are in the current patch, where beasts are a tribe you don't generally want to play, but Rylak and Macaw are still meta defining.
Yeah.
Like, I think having boards in a lobby is going to be a really, really big deal, because now you have a whole bunch of cards floating around that are like giving you multiple gems. You're getting some spell casts on the tribes that can use them.
Yeah.
But you're not actually looking at the board.
Yeah. Boars seem pretty trash in general from what it seems like.
Possible that with the right trinkets they're okay. Like, there is a greater trinket that makes it so all of your choose one cards get both options.
Yeah.
That might be enough to drive them into playability. Like, if you can get your like Gemrat Drakari set up with all of your choose one cards always do both options, you can like scale 7/7 your gems a turn and then get a whole bunch of value out of a bunch of the other boars. Like, that might be good. But I can't imagine that boards without any particularly good trinket is going to.
Yeah.
And that can all be done. That can all be done with Hog Rider as your source of gems on your team too.
Yeah.
Hog Rider Gemrat Drakari is something to watch out for a little bit, but I think it needs something else still.
Yeah. Next try Pirate also got radically reworked. I'll just quickly name through all the cards. Tier 2, activate 2, Clever Castaway 2/3, discover a tavern spell. going to be pretty solid. Maritime Extortionist has +8/+8 for each golden minion you played this game. Tier 4. Tier 4 Enterprise Escapee. After you spend 5 gold, get a lockbox. Free to have one, opens 1 turn sooner. Lockbox is what's the wording on it? I think it's let me unplayable in 5 turns, breaks open and get a random golden minion with a type. So that's what lockboxes are.
Yep.
Oh shoot, where did my thing go? Alright. Tier 6, Silent Deliverer, Battlecry, get a random golden minion from Tier 4. It doesn't give a triple reward. I mean, it's economy, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that great. And Tier 6, Hook Tusk, Master Marauder. After discover a card, give your other pirates +1/+1, improved by golden minions you play this game. I mean, Hook Tusk is kind of interesting when you're doing APM stuff, but I think the rest, like, I didn't get to play any pirate games where I got lockboxes because the sample is just small, and I just don't think I saw pirates once in my lobby, maybe only once. Lockboxes seem really slow, and pirates don't seem very exciting to me.
Lockboxes sound terrible, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to try them. So I have a couple thoughts about this.
Okay.
First off, I think activates make Goldens a fair amount better because all of the activate cards are a cost and an effect, and the cost doesn't double what the effect does.
Yeah.
Like all of the cards that are okay activates are actually really good Golden.
Okay.
So that might meaningfully drive up the value of Goldens. I don't know how much of the pool has activated at this point. It looks like something like 20%.
Okay.
I also think that random Goldens are a whole lot better in duos because you are a lot more likely to be able to use the minion with 2 boards.
Oh, so you mean for the Tier 6 guy, the random golden Tier 4?
I'm talking more about lockbox.
Okay, lockbox.
I'm a lot more into
yeah.
Like the odds that you get to do something with whatever your random golden is a lot higher in duos.
Yeah. I mean that makes more sense, but it's just literally going to be like a random golden. Like it could be like 1 through 6, right? It doesn't even tell you. It's not like one of a certain tier.
It's the Eudora.
Sorry, what?
It's the Eudora effect.
Oh, okay.
It's completely random.
Oh, okay.
The tier 6 that every time you discover pumps your team based on the number of Goldens seems like a potentially fun end game. I suspect it's not good enough. Like you're reasonably going to have 5-ish Goldens if you are focusing on it going into the time when he would start to be relevant, and it's hard to make more than like I don't know 5% in a turn, right?
It will also include laureates, though.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a good scaling engine for APM pirates in solos, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no relevance on how it will be for duos. I assume it's not going to be good enough because it's not fast enough to really get through it all.
If you have a lot of money and generate a lot of pirates and make a point of flipping every laureate you see, I think that Hook Tusk could actually be quite real.
Yeah. Certainly more fun than most.
Like when your game's really going off with money, like I don't know, like I'm curious. I like laureate just fine as an early card for tempo anyway. So I don't know, like it that feels like an interesting tiny theme to like use as a to dabble in, and then if it comes together, you've got it. But
yeah, pirates seem like they're going to be very fun, but they're likely to get very outstatted. Like, it seems like you're going to spend your entire turn APMing and doing all kinds of exciting things to get your 200, and then a Murloc player that had that tier 4 and tier 5 and played 8 spells just outstatted you.
I mean, that's how pirates are right now, at least in the current patch. Like you're like, oh, I get to do all these fun things. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, this guy's AFK and just killed me. But like, and also a problem I find with this card is that it's whenever you discover a card, and when you're trying to do APM stuff, like that's just to burn a lot of your time discovering cards to activate the stat buff.
Like the tier 4 beast that discovers a beast and the tier 5 Murloc that discovers a Murloc.
The tier 4 beast is gone.
The tier 4's gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that like it's the time factor that like it'll take you like 5 seconds to do each discover, and when you're trying to APM to really scale your board with this guy, even if the stats for it are large, you're just gonna eat a lot of your time to get the stats to played, as opposed to how it was before where the stats are just automatically generated.
You guys have talked me off my stance. I withdraw my claim that he's interesting.
that convinced you on how long it's gonna take to actually do all the discoverers.
Yeah, I'm as well as the just you're going a long way for not enough payoff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was wrong on that initial optimistic read.
Yeah,
They seem really fun. I hope they get popped.
yeah. Hopefully they get bought.
Like if all the lockboxes go off a turn earlier, and then like maybe even just like double that guy, make it fun. Then I would absolutely play pirates. Like I want them to be good, but I don't think they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, if they just had like a battle cry that reduced your lock boxes in your hand by 1 or something, which would probably be insanely good.
There is a greater trinket that makes all of your lockboxes go off 2 turns earlier.
Yeah.
That might be really good.
No, but like the main reason I say that is because if you had a battle cry, when you start doing APM stuff, you can just use your brand and just be like pop off your lock boxes a little bit early, and you can actually like get to things really fast or like really early if you happen to like get an early lock box in that guy. You can just like discover.
Escapee in an APM game, Terry.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? I can't hear you. Okay.
The enterprising escapee on tier 4 that after you spend 5 gold.
Yeah.
Doesn't he do exactly what you're saying you want out of them?
No, I think it's just the one that you get opens 2 turns sooner, so that won't be at like 3 or whatever as opposed to 5. It doesn't keep reducing it, or so like you would just have like a bunch that open on 3 each turn, right? So like the first, like after you spend 5 gold, you would have one at 5. Oh, maybe does it do exactly what I think it does? Or I think it's a lockbox you get opens 2 turns sooner, not the lockbox in your hand get reduced.
So it's only so it's working towards that one. Gotcha.
Yeah, so like each one you get would be open in 3 turns as opposed to opening in 5.
If you spend 30 in a turn, you get and open a lockbox, and now he's reset. Yeah.
No.
He's only working towards one lockbox at a time. Okay.
Yeah, I think it only that amount only counts toward the lockbox that you get from him, right? It doesn't actually work toward any of the ones that were previous. So if you spend 30 gold in a turn, you just have 6 lockboxes in your hand that open in 3 turns, and your hand's cluttered. You're like, fuck, how do I get rid of these?
Really? Wait, let me read this.
Is it?
I want all of them.
Right? After you spend 5
if you
gold,
already have one. So if you spend 30 gold, the first 5 gold gets you a lockbox, and then you spend 5 more, and now it's open in 4 turns.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's how it is. I think it's after you spend 5 gold, you get a lockbox. If you have in your hand, that lockbox you just got opens in 4 turns as opposed to 5 turns.
So if you spend 30 gold, you have a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1?
No, if you spend 30 gold, you have 5 that open in 4 turns. Each time you spend 5 gold, you get a new lockbox in your hand, and it opens on 1 turn earlier. Right? It only says
if you already have one, it opens 1 turn sooner.
Yes. Does the it refer to the lockbox in your hand or the one you just got? I'm thinking it refers to the one you just got.
Oh.
You already have in your hand, so you're working towards opening a lockbox that you have.
No, I think it just counts like you get a lockbox that opens a turn earlier. Does that make sense? Every time you get one from him, it opens in 4 turns instead of 5 turns. It doesn't actually reduce the ones in your hand.
I read it as it
That would be a change in the subject of the sentence.
It gave you. Like,
I thought you only ever had one lockbox in hand at a time when I initially was reading this.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was an instead of. If you get a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1 after 30 gold, like that's actually really good, I think.
Yeah, I think that's too good. That seems too good for a 4-drop. I think every time you spend 5 gold, you just get a lockbox that opens in 4 turns instead of a lockbox that opens in 5 turns and never decreases. Because it would say it decreases. Okay. It would say it increases or whatever.
If that's the case, it seems terrible.
I think it seems
And
terrible
I just
to
don't know what the
me,
rule-
but I could be wrong. Like when I read it, I think it refers to it is referring to the lockbox that you get, not the lockbox in your hand.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Like, there's 3 very different ways this might work, and depending on which one it is, this card is somewhere between really good and terrible.
Yeah, I would guess it's on the terrible side, and it might get reworked so that it progressively resets at the end of turn and it gets progressively lower. But I don't necessarily know if they could code it that way or that's how it works. But I'm guessing it's you just get one in your hand that's a 4, because otherwise the golden version, which reduces it by 2 each time, would be like insane, right? Because then you get one that's a 4, then a 2, and then a 0, and then 4, 2, 0 for 15 gold or whatever.
My hypothesis is that it is the most balanced option, which is you only ever have one lockbox in hand.
Yeah, that's. I don't see how it kind of can't be that, because it only gives you a lockbox if you don't already have one. Like, read the first line of it.
No, it says
It does not say.
does not say that. It's
After
after you
you
spend
spend
5 gold, get a lockbox.
End of sentence. If you already have one, it opens 1 turn sooner.
Fair enough. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm wrong on that. Yeah. Yep.
I do agree with you for the record. I do think that it means you only ever have one lockbox, but that I don't think that's what they wrote.
Yeah, the wording of it sounds like after you spend 5 gold, you're getting another lockbox to your hand. Because there's literally a period
Yeah, if
there.
that's the case, you could very end up with it with 10 locked cards in your hand, unable to play the game. In which case, I would never pick Pirate.
Okay, so someone in my chat says they asked the devs about it, and they answered, but I don't know what the answer was. But from my interpretation, I could easily see your hand get flooded with lockboxes. But I could be wrong, and maybe it's every 5 gold, the one in your hand goes down by that much. But it is worded horrendously, and they need to fix it. So it makes more sense.
Yes.
I think, this was always the case with Hearthstone. Like, you kind of can't just read the cards; you have to play with them to understand what they mean, because cards just say things like "get a Chroma Drake," and nothing in the game actually says what that is anymore, because there's no Chroma Drake. Cool.
No, but
so they're probably not going to fix it. We'll find out what it means.
Yeah. So I my personal thing is because the way it's worded, like how it's worded, yeah, you just keep getting lockboxes. It's lockbox generation, not necessarily keep lockbox generation. Anyways, so it depends if this card's any good. Pirates could be really good, or they could be trash, and we're probably leaning toward the trash in general. But anyways, next try, beasts. The beasts get a massive makeover as well. Let's just start with all the card minions got added. Tier 1, Filthy Bat, Rally Summon a 1/1 Beast, pretty mediocre. Tier 3, Tasty Lobster, Taunt Death Rattle. Give 2 friendly beasts +1/+1, improve your future tasty lobsters. I didn't see this thing get played at all. Tier 4, Headhunter Griffin, Rally, get a random beast. This guy was really good. It's a tier 4 3/5.
Isn't the point of the tasty lobster that you generate them in the shop and knock them out yourself?
No, that's a different card.
That's
They're called bait.
Tier 3, Wolf Pup, Rally, give you other minions +4/+2 3/5. We talked about it at the start of the pod. Tier 4, Cage Gnar, whenever a friendly beast attacks, give your beast +2/+1. I mean, this is a very, very good tempo card. Tier 5, Horny Hyena, Rally, summon a Tasty Lobster. This is your Tasty Lobster scaling for the Tier 3. Tier 6, Death Strider, after friendly Rally minion attacks, trigger your leftmost Death Rattle. I mean, this is just so you could trigger more Tasty Lobsters, I believe. And new Death Beetle Scaler, after friendly minion attacks, give your your beetles have additional +3/+3 this game. Death Rattle summon a 2/2 beetle. So
wait, real quickly, isn't Death Strider just macaws on tier 6, but like instead of macaw, it makes all of your rally it itself isn't macaw, it makes all of your rally minions behave like a macaw?
Yes.
On top of everything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Like it's macaw to 6 and reworked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like there's a lot of good rallies, right? Like there's the scaling
Yeah.
and then the card drawing. So it makes like your
Yeah.
your already good rally minions even better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily beast card. No, I was just saying you were referring to its launches. Like that's,
Sorry, we can't hear you, Kinkade.
Oh, sorry. I don't think it's really necessarily a beast card. I think it's like it's new macaw.
Yeah. But it's also a 6,
I think
so,
that there's
so
not
it's a
a
little
whole
reasonable.
ton of. Yeah, I think that it will play best in beasts for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the new beetle card definitely going to be quite relevant in solos. Probably not relevant in
Yeah,
duos
I
because
mean-
it doesn't scale fast enough. But
That thing is very clearly just a force on its own. Like
Yeah.
if you can gallop into that, you're just unbeatable for a while.
Yeah. Was there anything else?
Cagenar,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Cagenar and Wolf Pup seem like just phenomenal on their own tempo. Wolf Pup doesn't need other beasts to be really good. Cagenar actually does, but both of those seem absolutely huge. I'm suspicious that the lobster is going to end up being pretty decent. Like it scales by 2/2 per, but it's a death rattle, so we get to Titus that. Like the obvious comparison point to me would be like Paternal Knight or Automatons from the past. And this seems a fair amount better.
It scales 1/1, right?
Uh,
Not 2/2.
It scales by 1/1, but it hits 2 beasts.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not entirely clear how the golden works. If the golden might double the scaling, and it might just double the effect.
Yeah, that's how I assume it works. I assume it gives each time it dies, it gives it its effect an additional +2/+2, and then that's
But
stats.
it only gains 1x from previous scaling then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So instead of
Okay.
increasing by 1/1 every time it dies, it increases by 2/2 every time it dies.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty normal, I think, for all the stuff that improves.
Eternal Knight works the opposite, right? Like Eternal Knight, your golden is twice the size of your regular knight, but you only get credit for 1 death when it dies. This gives you double credit for scaling, but it doesn't double the scaling that you already have.
Oh, yeah, but the deaths are worth twice as much for the golden, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how they justify it, I think. So
Yep.
yeah, one death, but twice the scaling on the golden. I mean, beasts seem like they're pretty solid all the way through. I think they're gonna be more prevalent as tempo minions, punking people out early on in solo games, and I don't know how relevant it'll be for duos.
I think that we are going to have lots of beast boards on our like weaker side duos.
Yeah,
like we're going to have one leveling aggressively and one side that's playing beasts.
Yeah,
for
That's
tempo.
enough tempo that it matters. It matters plenty for duos. That's a lot of tempo.
Oh, I actually forgot to name a bunch of duo beast cards, all the fish bait stuff. Tier 2 fish bait. Give the minion that killed this +5/+5. That shows up in the shop. Lurking flying fish, activate, choose a card in the tavern and place it with a fish bait for your leftmost beast to attack. That's your pseudo scaling for your beasts. And when you sell this minion tier 4, 4/5, we sell this minion, refresh your tavern with the fish bait, your leftmost beast attacks it. I mean, that's beast scaling. I don't think fish bait is going to be that interesting. So I didn't even actually care.
I mean, with fish bait with wolf pup though seems huge. Like the +5/+5 is way less important than the proc 8 rally out of combat. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, repeat that again.
I think that as an engine to get +5/+5, fish bait's terrible. As an engine to like proc your wolf pup out of combat seems really good.
Oh
right?
yeah, okay. I didn't even think about that. Is it going to work that way? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So,
right. Like you get credit for your rounds. Otherwise, what would be the point of this mechanic, right?
I thought it was just as a. I guess you get credit for your rally. Yes. So I guess like using it to generate cards off your griffin and stuff too makes sense too. So I guess maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Because you just got like
Yeah. So you can you can get random beasts off the Griffin. You can give +4/+2 your team to the Wolf up. If you have a Cage Gnaw, you're getting the extra 2/1 on all of your beasts, no matter what you're proccing it with.
Oh, okay.
With the Death Rider, you're potentially getting out of combat procs on a Tasty Lobster or another Death Rattle you care about.
So yeah, so I probably underestimated it. Yeah, I probably just underestimated it. Actually,
Yeah, I think all three of those cards are going to be very strong with fish bait.
yeah, that makes some sense. I actually missed a couple of pirate cards because they were sectioned off too, which I can quickly go back to. There's a tier 2 battle cry. Get a lockbox if you already have one. It opens one turn sooner. I assume this is the same thing as what we were talking about earlier. That like the new one just opens one turn sooner. And then
the wording is the same.
Yeah,
they all do the same thing.
Yeah, as a tier 3 death rattle. Yeah, lockbox you have one. It opens one turn sooner. So yeah, I assume by the wording, it sounds like you're just gonna have a handful of loot boxes you can't open because it doesn't say like. Think about the tier 4 pirate. It doesn't say this only triggers once per turn or anything, so it's just gonna end up with like 10 lockboxes here, and you're like, I can't play the game. I can't play the game. I feel like 100% it's gonna happen.
The opposite, but we'll find out who's right.
Alright, let's take a quick look at neutral minions. So, sorry, what do you think of beasts? It's just gonna be like early tempo, not relevant in late game for you guys.
Tempo probably does scale into the late game, but gets a little bit left behind by the best demon and maybe the best Murloc boards, is my read right now.
Alright.
But they're still going to be real dominant up until like turn 11.
Yeah. Alright, so new neutral minion. Sorry, what'd you say, Kinkade?
And then they've got a solid 6 that they can add to it.
Yeah.
Like
which 6 are you talking about? The Scorpid or the Death Strider?
The Beetles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, new neutral minions. Tier 1, 3/3, activate 1, give another minion +3/+3. This guy's okay. Tier 2, activate 2, steal the highest attack minion in the tavern for a 3/4. I think this one was trash. Tier 3, fruit vendor, activate 1, get 2 tavern dish bananas is a 3/6. This guy seemed really, really good. Tier 4, taunt, start a combat, deal 3 damage to all the other minions. This is the new blaster, and it's kind of nice that it automatically triggers. Tier 6, activate 2, set another minion stats to 40/40. This guy was like super insane for tempo. It's gonna be pretty good overall. Like if you go eat shops, it allows you to eat something bigger and stuff too. And tier 6, Gatekeeper Amalgam. Whenever you cast a spell, that's a cast misplaced T set. Anything too interesting about that? I think Fruit Vendor is gonna be really, really good. I mean, just be able to get 1 gold for 2 bananas seems really good for all things. I want to cast spells.
Suspicious Prison Guard, I think, is going to be really strong, and I really honestly dislike because I think it's going to push a lot more of the duos comps that are like one side levels and one side just tries to make tempo.
Yeah.
Because it's like the textbook perfect card for that.
Yeah.
What is the perfect card for that, Caleb?
Suspicious Prison Guard, tier 1, activate 1. Tier 1, 3/3, activate 1, give another minion 3/3.
Yeah.
It's definitely good for people that stay down and want to play tempo, have a tempo board versus, and then let the other person level because they're pretty strong.
We're going to have tons of curves in duos where one team member is going to buy a Prison Guard on turn 1, turn 2 is going to buy another minion and activate Prison Guard.
Yeah. Turn 3, they're going to pass a minion and activate Prison Guard. Yeah.
Prison Guard. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You want to go through trinkets? Because the trinkets, like, I think talking a lot about trinkets isn't that relevant because you're just going to have to look at them when you get them and you can have time to decide. So you don't.
Agreed. And sometimes it's worth like sort of noting ones that are particularly important. Like I do think that your choose ones always do both effects.
Yeah.
Is possibly going to be like a chase trinket that you will want to like game plan around a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm not seeing a whole. There's one that gives you a baller every turn. That one also might be if elemental effect is good enough and the tier 5 baller.
Yeah.
I could see being like a little bit of I can torch my minion selection so that I get that more often.
Yeah, but I think most of the time you're just going to be like, there's so many trinkets in the pool, you're just going to like, okay, I'm already decided what tribe I'm in. Let's see what they're offering me, and then I'll take a few moments to decide, start think about what trinket I want to be. What are your overall thoughts on the patch now that we've kind of got through it, does it still feel like a big RNG fiesta that you're not going to enjoy playing?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of an RNG fiesta, mostly because of Dark Gifts.
Yeah.
And then I think that there's just a couple of power outliers with the Wolf Hunt for tier 3 beasts, probably the Demon on tier 4, that are just going to be like kind of frustrating. You roll down for it, you get it, you stabilize. You roll down for it, you don't get it, you die.
Yeah. I go ahead, Kinkade.
No, I agree with all that. That's just Flav in it.
Yeah, I like it. It feels like quite a few tribes are not going to be that playable. Like normally it's just one tribe, but it feels like 3 or 4 or 5 tribes might not be that playable.
I think Mag is going to be pretty unplayable. Pirates, I'm sort of wavering on. I suspect they're not good enough, but they might be. Really depends on how lockboxes end up feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't know that there's much beyond that I think is unplayable. Like, I think we disagree a little bit on Murlocs. I'll be curious how it shakes out, but I think Murlocs are going to feel pretty good. Elementals are a hard one to read.
I mean, you said Quillboars are unplayable as well.
True.
Yeah,
Quillboar are going to be really important to support tribe as a way to make gems and targets.
Yeah.
But I don't think there will be a lot of Quillboar comps around.
Yeah, so like Quillboar Naga, I think Pirate probably could be unplayable. I think Elemental, at least in solos, might be a little slow. And then the rest are all pretty good. But that's like almost half the tribes.
Yeah.
Right? So that's like, I think that's a major problem. But hopefully things get addressed soon. But like,
yep.
At least it's nice to have a little change up.
I think it's also likely we're going to sort of like divide things into this is a beast lobby, this is not a beast lobby.
Do you think it's going to be that prevalent? How strong the beast lobby is?
I think so. I don't know. It seems like everything Beast is doing is really good.
Yeah.
I think Beasts and Demons will both be lobby defining.
Really? Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I guess Beasts have a lot of things going for it. Just the rallies and how much early tempo you can have to empower you through to like the higher tiers to get to the really good stuff. Will be what
Taste 2 Lobster has a fair amount of support. I don't know that it's going to be very good, but there's some interesting tools there. Like there's also the trinket that lets you proc your death rattles out of combat that would scale this thing pretty fast, or like make use of it scaling in a very meaningful way.
Yeah. Alright.
And then throw in a Death Strider and a couple hyenas, and like that seems like a comp.
Yeah. Alright. I think we've beaten this horse now enough to death. It's been like an hour and a half almost. So thank you so much for you guys coming on, and I appreciate it. Yeah, looks like fun patch out on Tuesday. This pod will theoretically be out tomorrow, I hope. Depends how lazy I am on my editing. But yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate you guys coming to discuss this stuff with me.